Hey guys, I've decided to finally start sharing my experiences in Mexico with you with video. To be honest, I've never really known how to do this before. I never investigated my computer enough to figure it out, so sorry about that. Anyway, finally I'm just playing with things, figuring out how to do this, and I think it's a much more interactive way to share my experiences with you. So I've been here for 2 years, a little over 2 years now. I've learned so much about myself, about Jehovah, about people. I've learned great things about myself. I've learned terrible things about myself. And most of all, I've seen how Jehovah has provided for me in more ways than I ever could have imagined. It's been an extremely faith-strengthening experience. It's been a terrifying experience. And I would do it over again 100 times in a heartbeat. It's been very difficult, but totally worth it. I'm just going to give you a few of the hard things and a few of the great things about Mexico. I'm not going to get into a lot of personal details because that's things from my private journal. But, my goal really is to encourage you to expand your ministry any way that you can. If that means the staying at home and supporting your home congregation, then I want to encourage you to do that with all your power. If that means trying out a foreign country, another language, another congregation in your area, absolutely go for it. Anything you do for Jehovah, you're gonna be blessed. So whatever you can do, absolutely throw yourself 100% into it. Some of the great things about Mexico that I thought I knew before and I didn't. The people is the best thing about Mexico. The people are so loving, they're so hospitable, and they're so kind, especially the brothers and sisters here. It's to the point where now I can go to some town where I know a few brothers and sisters, and I already know that before I leave, I'm going to have 100 more friends, and I'm not going to need to worry about where I'm going to stay that night. I've actually done this. I just did this recently. I just went, I had my backpack, I had my stuff, and they asked me, where are you staying? And I didn't have a plan. I said, I don't know, because I have that much confidence that somebody is going to invite me to their house because that's how they are. Now, granted, I'm single, so it's very easy to just shove me on a couch or extra bed on the floor or wherever. I'm adaptable. I don't care. But that's just a great example of how hospitable and loving the brothers are. Not everybody here has a big mansion, fancy house. A lot of the people are very humble people. Have very simple means. But whatever they have, they share with you. And that's one of the best lessons I've learned from the people here, is to be generous, to share. Even if I buy a bag of chips, share with your friends, even if you don't want to. And there's been times when I haven't wanted to. But that's one of the best lessons I've learned, is to be more loving, to treat people like they're worth more than money, because people are worth more than money. Some other things I've learned from the local people is to be patient. I'm still working on it. Mexicans are generally very patient people. They're very flexible people, and I think I've definitely adapted more to be more flexible. They're very go with the flow. It doesn't matter if we have a plan or not. It'll happen. It'll get there. I've gotten more like that. I'm not quite as go with the flow as the local brothers, but I've learned a lot from their local go with the flow kind of spirit. And it really does make you chill out, relax, and just enjoy whatever you're doing. You don't have to have every moment planned. You don't have to always arrive on time to everything. Now, I'm not talking about the spiritual things. We need to be on time to the meetings and field service. But, if you planned on going to the store at 4 o'clock, who cares if you show up at 4:30? Just relax a little bit. Also, some of the habits of the culture, the bad habits have kind of stuck to me. I'm not always punctual to the meetings anymore. I used to be always right on time. I'm still more on time than a lot of the locals. But to be honest, I've gotten a little lax in that. But that's a couple of the benefits. A couple of the really hard things to deal with here. The number one, hands down, is the heat. Some parts of Mexico are not really, really hot. Like Mexico City, for example. It's not a really hot place. I'm going to say the hottest you might get in the mid-80s in Mexico City, and there's really no humidity there. So if you were looking for a place that's not too hot, there are options for you in Mexico. Now, where I live now, I live in Veracruz. I'm not going to tell you exactly where because this is going to be a public video, but Veracruz is tropical and it's super hot. Like today, the heat index was 98 degrees, 80% humidity. I don't have an air conditioner because I can't afford it. So it's very challenging. Actually, I'm sweating right now as we're talking. So ways your body really does adapt after a certain amount of time. It's not that I can tell you that I'm sitting here comfortable in 98 degrees, but it's not as bad as it was before when I first got here. And you learn how to deal with it. You simply don't go out in the hottest part of the day. You don't stand in direct sunlight. Take a cold shower or 2 or 3. Get yourself a nice fan. Figure out how to adapt, and then give yourself some time to really see if you're going to be able to pull through. Some people can't. They simply can't deal with it. They try. They give themselves some time, and it just doesn't work because their body can't, and that's okay. If you can't deal with it, don't beat yourself up. But I do suggest that give yourself enough time to try to really adapt to it. Don't just get here and then say, I can't do this, it's too hot, and then give up, unless you have a health problem that limits you. I suggest, unless you have a reason, like a health problem, give yourself 2, maybe 3 months. Honestly, the hottest season here, maybe 2 or 3 months, and then it's hot, but it's not like ridiculous anymore. So one of my best tips for dealing with the heat is you must allow yourself time. And I don't recommend getting an air conditioner, actually, because it makes it miserable for you when you're not in the air conditioning. If you can get by without it, I recommend it, because I'm now better able to deal with the heat without being in a bad mood, and I don't feel like I have to bottle myself up in my apartment all the time because I'm not sticking to the air all the time. I don't have it, so that's my recommendation for heat. Couple other things, you're gonna simply face a little stomach illness now and then. If you're already prone to that, if you have a little bit of a weak stomach, then it's gonna hit you a little harder when you come to Mexico. I have a pretty strong body. I've never really gotten sick that much, once in a blue moon. And even here, I have a bad habit of eating the street. I've gotten plenty of stomach bugs here. I even had to have antibiotics one time because I got a really nasty one from some street food. My first 6 months, I had a lot more I had a lot more stomach-related sicknesses. Nothing really serious, just like a little stomach bug. After that, I don't really get stomach bugs that much anymore. The local brothers and sisters have also shown me some tea. It's called manzanilla. It's a little flower that they boil and make a tea, and it calms pretty mild stomach bugs. If you have just a little stomach irritation, it calms it down. It's really cheap. It's like 3 pesos for a bag of it. That's like 20 cents. That's really cheap. So for dealing with that kind of stuff, I would say be prepared and bring some medication with you if you're already prone to getting sick. Absolutely make sure you disinfect your produce. And I'm sure you've heard this 100 times, but people in the street don't do that. They understand, they have the education here for killing bacteria, but they don't read it, or they don't listen to it, or they don't care, because by just tradition, they just stick stuff in water, and for some reason they think that's clean. That's not knocking the brothers and sisters, the locals. That's just the habit that I've seen. A lot of times they don't even provide you soap in the bathrooms. So bring your own antibacterial. Be ready, because that's how it is. And we're, as Jehovah's people, we're taught that soap is what kills germs. Soap is what helps prevent illnesses. We need to be clean. So don't get here and be preachy about it. That doesn't help. That just irritates people. I've been there. But be prepared yourself. You need to have your own antibacterial, because a lot of places won't have the soap. And prepare your fruits and vegetables yourself. I don't recommend eating them in the street, although I'm risking myself because E. coli is common here. Your fruits and vegetables need to be disinfected with either bleach, which is what I use because it's easy, it's cheap. Not all bleach, a bleach water solution. Or they sell little bottles of disinfectant at the grocery store. That's more expensive. Some people disagree with bleach. They think that it's bad for your body. I am not an expert, so you need to do your homework. But I believe that a little bit of bleach is better than E. coli, basically. So, in conclusion, I want to share more videos with you guys. I want to share photos. I want to share experiences and insights about different places that I've been here. I've been to so many places. I've met so many people. I've got so many awesome experiences. I can't do it all in one video, so this is just an intro, some of the great things about Mexico, some of the challenges, to keep it real. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know. You're welcome. If you know me personally, hit me up on Facebook, email me. If you don't, of course, leave a comment here. And let's just, feed off of each other's energy here. So have a great day, guys, and there'll be more coming about my experiences. Bye. See you.